This is a video about how a seemingly minor discrepancy in the address of a property can then go on to cause a huge problem with the property once you've bought it and rent it out. So when I first viewed the property, I couldn't really even see it on the street. It was only when the estate agent showed up, she told me you have to go around the house and then sort of find your way into it through the back. Its layout, its plan was a bit odd. It was unconventional, and the number of the property was actually 4B. There was a 4A, so I assume it was some kind of title split situation that had occurred previously that had led to this sort of thing. But upon purchase, it was causing some issues between solicitors, and a lot of the work was done, but then it transpired that the seller solicitor had used number 4 as the address, but my solicitors had used 4B, so this all had to be changed to match. And then it also became apparent that Royal Mail had not registered it as 4B, so a lot of the mail started to get misposted or lost or posted into number 4A. This actually started to happen with the bills as well. So instead of going to 4B, the bills were posted in 4A, and then the tenant didn't get the bills, and then I got notifications for the bills. And as annoying as it is, British Gas tries to chase you for bills. Then you need an account number to get into the website portal. I didn't have an account number because I was not the bill payer. So then I'd had to find roundabout ways to contact them. This led to other things, like they thought I had not paid the bill, so they'd referred the case to a legal company, and then I was contacted by the legal company. It was not clear at the start which property these bills were referring to, because I have other properties as well. So then I had to dig into this, and there was all kinds of client reference numbers, account numbers, claim numbers. So you have to log into another portal to log these issues, and then do this in conjunction with the agency. The agency were fully managing the property, so I shouldn't really have this kind of issue, but then the agency had issues getting into the account because apparently the account I had made the complaint on was under my name. I'd never previously bought a property like this. The major issue, as mentioned, is that Royal Mail had not registered it under the exact address that the property had. This even can lead to potentially erroneous sold price comparisons, Land Registry issues. Then upon buying the property, the legal process got delayed, so the solicitors got delayed, and obviously when you're buying the property, the longer the delay, the more potential money you're losing out on. So be wary of situations like this. When buying the property, ensure the addresses are all recorded Land Registry addresses and that both sets of solicitors are on the same page. The boundaries of the property also became an issue. There was a parking space that was directly allocated in front of my property. Then we had to dig into the title deeds and things like that, and found out that the parking space that seemingly was mine belonged to 4A and not to 4B. So when renting this out to tenants, this sort of thing can become an issue. Off-street parking is often sought after. Something quite odd happened upon purchasing the property as well. The lender gave the mortgage, but then they withheld £2,000 of the mortgage until I had some damp treated. Maybe they misassessed it to start with, because had they noticed the damp, they would have given me a mortgage with £2,000 less anyway. So I had to get the damp treated and prove that it was treated by a set of photographs where the builder had to treat the damp in stages and then repaint and replaster and all of that. Luckily they accepted the evidence and the 2k retention was cancelled, but this sort of thing can sometimes go either way, so it's best to do due diligence. I was not that experienced in dealing with damp issues, and when buying this property I bought it rather quickly as well. This one was not sourced for me, so I'd gone in quite quickly and just decided to buy the property. So once again, it's always good to do due diligence. This issue with the address has kept this bill issue recurring every few months. This legal company seems to keep coming for me, and it's been cleared up a number of times that the tenant is liable for the bills. The agency even sent the legal company the tenancy agreement, but as it's social housing, I think this is causing issues. It's not a standard AST. There were some issues around dates on the tenancy, even though they can clearly tell it is tenanted out, and because of this I think it's caused some discrepancy somewhere in the system, and they just keep approaching me for these bills. Overall though, in terms of time value, the property is yielding quite a high rent, and relative to most jobs you would have to do much more in a standard job to make less money. So although this property has been a little bit problematic in ways, it's good to bear in mind that if investing property generally passively, which is what I do, and the time value of this sort of thing is still very high. You can often find yourself in some slightly precarious situations, but it's good to remind yourself that when investing in property, the time value of the whole endeavour is much higher than that you'd find in most standard jobs. So even with some hassle, you still get proportionally higher returns relative to the amount of effort you put in. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if I can be of any assistance to you in your property journey.